When you hear the words film noir, what actress immediately comes into mind? Joan Crawford? Barbara Stanwyck? Joan Bennett? Ingrid Bergman? Ida Lupino? Gloria Grahame? Tierney? Lizbeth Scott? Simmons? Maybe Lauren Bacall? I'm sure at least one of these actresses is familiar to you. When you think of film noir fashion, these women are true icons. In this episode, we'll look at some of the incredible garments worn by these women in this dark and moody genre. If you're interested in seeing what I'm about to talk about, keep watching. Before I get started, for those who aren't familiar with film noir, because I know not everyone is, I wanted to give a brief overview of what it is and point out that film noir wasn't just popular during the 1940s. There were many incredible movies in the 1950s as well. So what exactly is film noir? Film noir is a style of Hollywood crime drama that emphasizes cynical attitudes and motivations. The 1940s and 1950s are generally regarded as the classic period of American film noir. Film noir of this era is associated with a low-key black and white visual style that has roots in German expressionist cinematography. Many of the prototypical stories and attitudes expressed in classic noir derive from the hard-boiled school of crime fiction that emerged in the United States during the Great Depression, known as noir fiction. As I mentioned in my intro, some actresses immediately come to mind when you think of film noir. However, so many more talented women graced the big screen. Unfortunately, I won't have time to show you the wonderful wardrobes of all of them. Rather, I'm going to focus on a few actresses and particular movies. First up, I'm starting with who I consider the queen of film noir, Barbara Stanwyck. Barbara is most likely best known for her sassy characters in pre-code movies such as Babyface. But she's also an iconic film noir actress. The movie wardrobe I'm going to focus on today is from the movie Double Indemnity. The one and only Edith Head styled Barbara's wardrobe. Though colorized, this poster also shows her sexy style. The turtleneck with the A-line skirt, classic. Next up is the fun frilly number. I love the frill in the centerpiece of this dress. Then we have the iconic little black dress. These are often seen in noir, although the term little black dress gained more fame in the 1950s due to Audrey Hepburn. And the blouses. We can't forget the blouses. I also love this tropical print. Ida Lupino is up next, and she was prolific. She was the absolute trifecta of Hollywood talent. She was an actress, director, and writer. Ida is an inspiration to me on so many levels. Her wardrobe in the 1941 classic High Sierra is simple and wonderful. It's a mix of blouses, trousers, a classic coat, and of course, frills. Milo Anderson styled Ida's wardrobe. I'm going to start off with the blouses. When we think of women's clothing from the 1940s, we immediately visualize those big, boxy shoulders, especially on suits and coats. That look didn't emerge actually until the mid-1940s. At the beginning of the 1940s, styles were still transitioning from the 1930s with a softer look. and the slightly puffy shoulders and that more romantic style. High Sierra was made in 1941, so we're still seeing the late 1930s influence here. Trousers are also very present in this movie. I love me a good 1940s wide-legged trouser. The most iconic piece of wardrobe for me, though, is the coat. I love the wide collar and that tie belt. Ingrid Bergman, you can't talk about film noir without mentioning the movie Casablanca, and of course, I just said her name, Ingrid Bergman. The piece that stands out the most for me in this movie is the hat. And in the 1930s and 40s, and even up until a certain point in the 50s, women were still wearing hats. And the other outstanding bit or costume is the classic two-piece suit, and which is also a very iconic look in this movie, as well as many film noir movies. Of course, I also need to talk about this cute pinafore style dress. I'm not sure if it's one or two pieces, because there are patterns out there where you do a pinafore and you have a blouse with it, like it's all one piece. It's not a separate blouse and pinafore. And look how lovely the stripes and the plain color dress work together. I have such a soft spot for the movie Laura from 1944, who stars the amazing Jean Tierney. And it's not only because it stars Jean Tierney, but also it stars my favorite ghoul, Vincent Price. I think it was one of his first movies, like it's when he started out. Not necessarily his first movie, but it was when he was beginning. And this movie also has an incredible cast, including Clifton Webb and Dana Andrews. However, this is about Jean. So one of my favorite wardrobe pieces in this movie, are the dresses. They're romantic, floaty, and sexy without being over the top. Now, we're into the mid-40s here, so you would think we would be seeing more boxy shoulders, but in the case of this movie, again, they wanted to keep the look soft for the character Laura. And the designer for this movie was Bonnie Cashin, and what an incredible job she did dressing Jean Tierney as Laura. As we're beginning to round out film noir of the 1940s, we have to chat about an actress who has covered many genres by the time she got to the 1940s. She was in silent cinema and pre-code. I'm of course talking about the incredible Joan Crawford. She had such a presence in everything she was in. She starred in many film noir, but the wardrobe that stands out the most for me is from the movie Mildred Pierce, which is from 1945. And once again, we're seeing Milo Anderson as the costume designer. Throughout this entire movie, you see that famous silhouette, the large shoulders. And when you think of Joan Crawford, you think of those big shoulders. But a lot of actresses wore it, but Joan Crawford definitely wore it the best. So I'm now going to show you a few of my favorite pieces from the movie, including this polka dot number. I'm going to end this video with one of my favorite noirs from the 1950s. I know, some of you are yelling, what about Lauren Bacall, Lizbeth Scott, Jean Simmons, and Gloria Grahame? Plus a very long list of other actresses. I would love to chat about them too, but this video is going to be too long. If you do want a second part, let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely do a part 2, part 3, however many parts is required to get through the long list of amazing film noir actresses. One of my favorite actresses from the 1950s is the very sexy Marie Windsor. If one of her movies is on, it doesn't matter when it started, I'm going to watch it. For this episode, though, we're going to talk about the 1956 movie, well, The Wardrobe, from The Killing. The wardrobe was very skillfully done by designer Jack Masters. One thing that the 1950s did very well is lingerie. Lower budget movies, like many noirs, have some of the most desirable flowing pieces I've ever seen, and Marie Windsor also wears it very well. So I'm just going to show you a few of those beautiful lingerie pieces. I hope you enjoyed my latest episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know your favorite film noir or costume. It doesn't have to be just from this movie. It can be from whatever movie, film noir movie that you prefer or is your favorite. List them below. Like I said, I can do more episodes on wardrobe from the film noir eras of the 1940s and 50s. There is a very long list of actresses who have amazing costumes and wardrobes throughout the movies. I can also do one on men from film noir. The only thing with doing wardrobe for men is there's not a huge difference. Lots of suits, and the suits really don't have a huge variety of shapes. They're pretty much the same, but I can talk just about the men if you want. Anyway, that is it for this episode. As I said, please comment below, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and until next time, stay kitschy. Bye!